Now, the question on my mind and the topic of this video is AEW good again? Tony Khan made a tweet not too long ago where he said that 2024 AEW is basically the new 2021 AEW. That was like a month ago, probably over a month ago at this point. But not too long after that, the Boston show was announced, and I think you and I both know that Mercedes Moné is going to make her debut on that Boston show, and maybe, just maybe, somebody else might make their debut on that show as well. But does this mean that AEW is back? Does it mean that it's going to be like 2021 AEW again? My answer is no, absolutely not. I think back to 2021 AEW, we had Cody Rhodes, we had CM Punk, and it's sad when you think about it. It's really sad how it all ended, because that was 2 years ago. You know what I mean? We didn't have Cody, so Cody was 3 years ago, Punk was 2 years ago. It's sad, it really is. Like, I was thinking about it last night, and you think about, like, how did everything go so wrong so fast? We were supposed to have thriving years of CM Punk and thriving years of Cody Rhodes, and AEW was supposed to keep climbing that mountaintop. Like, All In could have been something really special, and it's just unfortunate that it wasn't. Is AEW back? You know, are we getting that 2021 feeling back with AEW, that early AEW feeling? Because, look, unpopular opinion, I liked 2019 AEW just as much as I liked 2021 AEW. Say what you want about Joey Janela and Jimmy Havoc and all those people who were in early 2019 AEW. I really liked it when it was first starting, when it was hot, when it was fresh. I think the Inner Circle is my favorite faction of all time. Like, for me, it's Inner Circle, and then a very close second is like the Shield. And I'm just talking about wrestling factions that I have witnessed in my lifetime. I was not alive for DX and all that stuff. I just realized I'm actually supposed to use this for my microphone. Okay, hopefully that sounds better. I don't know. See, the debut of Mercedes Moné is not going to make a difference. It's not going to move the needle. Nothing like that is going to happen. Tony Khan also mentioned, he made a tweet a few days ago where he said that AEW is not going to be red and blue after Revolution. So we're going to have that pay-per-view, and then there's going to be a new set design, I think, new colors for AEW, which I'm very excited for. I like the set right now, but I hate the color scheme and I hate the design. Like, the red and blue and white lasers, not doing it for me. It never has. I really don't like it. The exploding, colorful rainbow graphic, like, why can't we just... It wasn't broken. You know what I mean? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And I think everyone loved the exploding rainbow graphics. I mean, if he brings that back and then puts 2 tunnels in that stage, because I like the set right now. I do. I like the set. I like the stage. But if he can just incorporate tunnels into that stage and then also have the exploding colorful graphics, we're probably going to have the best looking stage of AEW in AEW history. The problem with saying that 2024 AEW is going to be like 2021 AEW is that it's simply just not true. Because now we have Collision, and now we have Ring of Honor. And I don't know why Tony Khan thinks anybody cares about Ring of Honor. Nobody cares about Ring of Honor. You can have these two companies be totally separate. You want to bring Ring of Honor in for the Forbidden Door. You want to bring some Ring of Honor guys in for Forbidden Door, just like New Japan, just like CMLL, which, by the way, who cares about CMLL? I care more about New Japan Pro Wrestling coming into AEW, and I don't even care about New Japan coming into AEW. So Ring of Honor, New Japan, CMLL, leave that for Forbidden Door season, okay? That's like a nice time in June where you know we can have these crossovers. I personally, and I know I speak for a lot of people when I say this, we don't care. I mean, I already said in another video, you gotta scrap Rampage or Collision. You gotta get rid of at least one of them. I get it. You want to have 2 shows, which is fine. And in fact, when it was just Dynamite and Rampage, you know, we all complained about Rampage and how it didn't mean anything, but at least back then, it's like, okay, at least they know no one's watching Rampage, so they're just going to put a bunch of garbage on Rampage, and we get the good stuff on Dynamite. But now it's like they want to have this 3-way brand split kind of show thing going on, and it's not even a brand split. But now what's happening is you get a little bit of entertainment on Dynamite, you get a little bit on Collision, and you get little to nothing on Rampage. And the problem was back then, you could skip Rampage and nothing would matter. Now it feels like you have to know what's going on Rampage and Collision if you just watch Dynamite. So if you want to understand everything that's going on in AEW, you need to either watch those shows or catch up with those shows somewhere else on Twitter, find out what's happening. And that's not good for anybody, okay? 2019 AEW, and this is why I liked 2019 AEW, because there was no Rampage at this point. There was no Collision. It was just their weekly Dynamite show, and they focused on their top stars. I don't think, first of all, AEW is not as big as WWE. So WWE has Raw and SmackDown. They're allowed to have two shows. AEW is not as big. Why do you have two shows? Really, most of my anger just comes from the fact that I can't watch Collision here in Canada without paying for a subscription to TSN Plus. So really, I'm just taking out my anger on that right now. But even still, Collision's on a Saturday. No one's watching that on a Saturday. I don't even watch SmackDown on Fridays most times because I'm out doing shit. But I think back to 2023 AEW, and as bad as 2023 AEW was, because it was pretty awful, as bad as 2023 AEW was, at least we had MJF. You know what I mean? At least we had consistently Christian Cage, and now we kind of only see him here and there. At least we had Kenny Omega doing stuff. And I get it, you can't control what happened to Kenny Omega, I understand that. And we do have more Young Bucks as of late than we did in 2023, which is good. But really, who do we have right now? We have Hangman Adam Page. It's good, that's a plus. Samoa Joe, we got him. He's the AEW champion, sure, that's great. I like Swerve as well, we got those three. Kind of it, so that's it. And we have the Kingdom with Adam Cole, who is in crutches, and a bunch of guys that I don't really care for. Wardlow lost all momentum. So it is wrong. It is wrong to say that 2024 AEW is like 2021 AEW. Now, can it get to that point? Yes, it can. One good step is, Tony Khan, he's listening to the fans and he's changing the set design. That's going to make it feel a little bit nostalgic. If he brings back those exploding colors and the tunnels, that's going to be good. And because that's what we want. We just want the old feeling back again. We want the old vibes. Any super important storyline should be happening on Dynamite. The problem is not much is happening on Dynamite. We have one, maybe two stories going on right now. And even they are not very good. I gotta be honest, the Hangman Adam Page, Swerve, and Joe storyline, it's okay. But it could be, with the talent you have there, this story could be way better than it is right now. And it is difficult right now, I understand. It's WrestleMania season, right? All this stuff is going on in WWE, mainly the Cody, Rock, Roman, Seth, that whole thing is going on, which everyone's eyes are on that right now and not so much on AEW. I understand that. But this is the time where you're not going to compete with WWE right now. So this is the time where you can start establishing for the future. So look, 2023 AEW was a bust, all right? We can admit that. 2024, listen, at the end of the day, we don't have Punk, we don't have Cody. There's a lot of stuff that, we don't have Kenny. There is absolutely nothing on AEW that makes me want to tune in every Wednesday, because if it was guaranteed that I was getting some kind of Christian Cage segment every Wednesday on Dynamite, yeah, I'd probably tune in every Wednesday. That would be a good incentive for me to tune in. But a big problem with AEW, and I've noticed that this has been happening for a while, for years this has been happening, a storyline will happen on Dynamite, and then it will continue on Rampage. And then Collision came, and then it's going to continue on Collision. And then you're going to get the next part of it in 2 weeks on Collision. It's just that when I'm invested in a story, it's unfortunate that sometimes that story carries on a different show that I don't watch. The debuts were a big part of 2021 AEW. They were those debuts, because you never knew who was going to come through those tunnels. Yes, AEW at this point has an extremely bloated roster, but they're not even utilizing most of that roster. So I say get rid of half of these guys, let's get some more awesome debuts going in here, and let's bring the vibes back. I'm going to give AEW 1 year. I'm going to give them the rest of this year to convince me that this is still a product worth consuming. Tony Khan has 1 year. Tony Khan has the rest of 2024 to prove to me that I should still be watching AEW come 2025. That is all I have to say for right now. Good night.